You've definitely watched a movie so good that it left you extremely excited to see a sequel come out. But did you know it's only a matter of time before several amazing films get a continuation? Hooray! Super Mario Galaxy. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was an insane hit, loved by both hardcore Mario fans and casual viewers who enjoy animated movies and Illumination. And with such massive success, of course Nintendo decided to keep its partnership with the studio behind Despicable Me to make a sequel. The sequel will be called Super Mario Galaxy the Movie, expanding Mario's adventures into the stars and adapting mainly the Super Mario Galaxy games. It will also bring in important characters from those games, such as Princess Rosalina. Another character showing up will be Bowser Jr., a villain who has appeared since Mario's earliest games, proving how the Mario movies are mixing the newer games with the classics to create something completely fresh. Everyone who watched the first movie is excited for the second one, which will be released on April 3rd, 2026. This is just one of the 14 sequels that are 100% confirmed and coming very soon. So grab your popcorn and get comfy on the couch. Another Cinewave is starting. Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5. That's a name most people never expected to see. The franchise seemed to have ended with Toy Story 3. But a fourth movie came out in 2019, supposedly closing the story once and for all. Or at least, that's what we thought, because Toy Story 5 is on the way, with its release date set for June 19th, 2026. The story will follow a very different approach, one that fits today's world quite well, because the main antagonist will be a tablet. It's a smart way to show how technology and electronic devices like phones and tablets have been replacing more traditional toys. It'll be very interesting if the movie explores the harmful effects that too much screen time can have on kids' lives. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. SpongeBob has already had several movies in the past, and a new one is coming very soon. Really soon, since its release date is December 25th, 2025. The movie is titled The SpongeBob Movie Search for SquarePants, and it'll be a big adventure involving the Flying Dutchman, one of the favorite characters among longtime SpongeBob fans. The question now is whether theaters will be filled with kids who adore SpongeBob or with fans over 30, since this is one of those shows that brings multiple generations together. Frozen 3. Another franchise that will reach multiple generations is Frozen, since this saga that began in 2013 is finally getting its third movie. The best part is that, from what it seems, we'll see a new stage in Anna and Elsa's lives, with Anna marrying Kristoff. Many fans even believe the two might have a baby in this film. And it actually makes a lot of sense, since the official synopsis revealed that Elsa and Anna will meet a new, mysterious member of the family. This could easily refer to a baby who hasn't been born yet, and therefore is mysterious because no one knows if it will be a boy or a girl. Other fans theorize that this mysterious family member could be some uncle or cousin the sisters never heard about for some reason. Can you imagine if the big plot twist is that this new character is actually Rapunzel from Tangled? Yes, it sounds wild, but fans have theorized for years that she could be a distant cousin of Elsa. If you want to see us talk more about this in a future video, just comment down below. After all, we have tons of theories to explore before Frozen 3 releases on November 24th, 2027. Shrek 5. With Disney releasing so many sequels to its classics, of course DreamWorks would jump into the game as well. And what better franchise to bring back than the one that made the studio explode in popularity? Making Shrek 5 was a huge opportunity, and thankfully, they took it.
The film already has a teaser and is set to hit theaters on June 30th, 2027. Just like Frozen 3, Shrek 5 will take place many years after the last movie, covering the entire period the franchise stayed without new films. Because of that, Shrek's kids, who were babies before, will now be older. We even saw one of them in the teaser, appearing to be a teenager or young adult, and she will be played by Zendaya. If you're excited for this movie too, drop a comment saying #Shrek, Minions 3. The situation with Minions 3 is completely different, because the movie definitely won't take place in a future where Gru's daughters are already grown up. Unfortunately, it has already been confirmed that the Despicable Me universe is one of those where characters simply don't age, at least not from the first movie forward. What's most likely is that the film will follow the same formula as Minions 2, with the Minions going on past adventures alongside young Gru. Now, how young Gru will be is still a mystery. Will he be a kid like in Minions 2, or maybe an older teenager? It would be super cool to see Gru getting older and older with each movie starring his little yellow sidekicks, eventually starting to lose his hair and becoming the Gru we see in the first Despicable Me. We'll finally get to see what this movie will really look like on July 1st, 2026. Dogman 2. Dogman was another film full of personality made by DreamWorks, adapted from a series of children's books that were already very well known. The wacky story of the animation enchanted kids and even won over a lot of adults, which helped it exceed box office expectations and receive plenty of positive reviews. It was obvious that a sequel would eventually be announced, and thankfully, it was. After all, there are more than 10 books about the police dog hero, and many adventures that have never been adapted for the big screen. A sequel could bring several of those stories, like Dogman becoming the superhero the Bark Knight, or fighting the villain Dr. Scum. There is still no confirmed release date for the movie, but that should change soon. The Bad Guys 3. If you're not excited for Minions 3, don't worry. There's another third installment of a trilogy starring a crew of characters who are pretty bad, but at the same time, pretty awesome. We're talking about The Bad Guys 3. The second movie was already amazing, but the way it ended suggests that the third one will take things to a whole new level, because it will very likely include the presence of aliens. After all, the second film showed Professor Marmalade, who until then seemed to be just another villain, saying it was time to go home and flying off into the depths of outer space, revealing that he had been an extraterrestrial all along. And this craziness isn't even an invention of the movie, since the books they're based on also introduced the idea of alien villains at a certain point. Most fans thought that part would never be adapted because it's so bizarre, but it looks like the franchise will be brave enough to show Mr. Wolf's crew fighting aliens. There still isn't a release date, but the movie is expected to happen, and let's hope it doesn't take too long to come out. Angry Birds 3. Who would have thought that a simple mobile game would end up turning into such fun movies? That's exactly what happened with Angry Birds. The game about magical birds launched from slingshots to defeat evil pigs. Somehow, that wild premise was turned into a successful movie that later got a successful sequel. And guess what? The birds are coming back on December 23rd, 2026. Yep, just about a year from now. We've already gotten a teaser, but it didn't reveal much about what will happen in the movie. It's only a matter of time before an epic trailer drops and drives everyone crazy with hype. Minecraft the Movie 2. Minecraft the Movie is another adaptation of a game that became way more successful than most people expected. But the wild idea of making a live-action Minecraft adaptation worked and brought in great box office numbers. So much so that a sequel has already been confirmed. Just like The Bad Guys, there still isn't a release date for Minecraft the Movie 2, but plans for a sequel started to take shape not long after the first one was released in 2025. So we can expect the new film to hit theaters around mid-2027, assuming the studios behind the project truly want to invest in the franchise, which would be the smartest choice they could make. The subscribe button is right there, waiting for you. How about clicking and keeping up with everything we post? The Incredibles 3. The Incredibles 3 is being eagerly awaited by so many people. Seriously, fans from several different generations are excited to see the Parr family save the world once again. The first movie came out in 2004, the second in 2018, and the third was released around 2028. Yep, one film per decade. No wonder the franchise has fans of every possible age group. We still don't have information about the plot of the new production, but the script will be written by Brad Bird, the creator of the saga, so it's only natural to imagine that the story will be incredible. But this time, he'll stay only as the writer, not the director. That role for this new installment will be filled by Peter Sohn, who directed Elemental. Bluey, the movie. Few people ever imagined that even Bluey would eventually get a movie, but it will, and it's going to be released in theaters around the world. Unlike the rest of this list, Bluey the movie will be a continuation of an animated series instead of a film, but it's still a sequel, so it definitely counts. And there are several reasons why this might become the most definitive and emotional project in the entire Bluey universe. The studios involved seem to be putting in a lot of effort. Not to mention they're also trying something very different from usual, making the movie in 3D animation instead of Bluey's classic 2D style, which will give this story of the little blue dog a more cinematic look. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Before, when we thought of Spider-Man, the only person that came to mind was Peter Parker. But everything changed when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was released in 2018. It introduced mainstream audiences to Miles Morales and several other incredible alternate Spider-People. The movie became a huge success, not only because of the story, but also because of its animation style, which changed the industry. And it got a sequel in 2023 that was just as successful, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That film went even further in terms of innovation, ending with a cliffhanger just like a comic book issue. The problem is that the third movie was originally supposed to be released way earlier, but in the end, its release date was pushed back by years. But now, we're finally getting close to seeing the conclusion of this saga, since Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse will arrive on June 18th, 2027. In other words, in less than 2 years. Excited? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2. Anyone who loves the Ninja Turtles will have a lot to celebrate in 2027, because that's the year we'll get the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This version of the Turtles follows a more youthful and fun style compared to previous versions, so the sequel should also be packed with humor. But we'll definitely see plenty of action too, since the first movie ended with the introduction of the Turtles' greatest villain, Shredder. The fun doesn't stop here. There are 2 amazing videos waiting for you on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.